Hello and welcome to BYU Pathway Worldwide. My name is Ben Packer and I'm the Vice President of Student Success. Every day my team works to find ways to help our students to be successful. We meet with students at local gatherings where they live, but often we use video conferencing like this to connect with students all around the world. I recently met with students like you and asked them what their keys to success are. What you'll see here for the next few minutes are a few highlights from our video conference. As you take this very important step in going back to school, I encourage you to log into your class on the first day and become familiar with all the resources that are available to you. I wish you the very best of success in the semesters ahead.
I think one of the things that I learned early on and that I shared with a few different students is that you should never be afraid to ask questions. If there's something that you do not understand, ask your teacher, ask your pathway missionary, ask people in your gathering group. We had weekly discussions about the classes we were doing and the things we were learning. And ultimately, if you don't know something, just ask about it, because everybody wants you to succeed and we're all trying to do it together. And well, you can't get the answer if you don't ask the question.
Beginning for the all pathway missionaries, really good for them to know that the first few weeks the instructors are pretty lenient as far as while you're trying to navigate everything, and that's really important to know, because that would have stressed me out a lot more at the beginning. I got everything in on time, but just knowing that, like, okay, I don't have to like really stress out as much as I'm stressing out, knowing that, like, okay, I just need to get through it and figure it out.
Gathering was amazing. It was amazing support. Like, that was all the resources I think our group needed. I do believe we had a special group. It was amazing how quickly we connected. Within weeks, a week or two, that we found that we could get support from each other. And it was amazing how many personal things we shared and was able to buoy each other up. So I think that was the most surprising part for me in Pathways, was the gathering group.
I think the biggest support was in our group, our gathering, and I think the success did depend on our willingness to be vulnerable with each other.
One of my things that I think is really important was my husband was really supportive of me doing it, and so I've got a 3, 6, and 9-year-old, so I could not have done it without his support and just being okay with some things not getting done. My kids are my priority right now, and so it's trying to fit school around that priority. So anyway, so it's been really nice having his support and helping just get through it.
Yvonne was a saint.
Yeah.
I think she helped all of us. She was able to help us kind of navigate maybe what type of degree we want to go into, or if we had questions, like with instructor questions or issues, logging on to things. All around, she kind of is able to do it all.
I scheduled 2 days a week where I had a 4-hour block, and I scheduled those times. It's just like I would schedule anything for school. And then also becoming very familiar with Canvas and being able to use the module apps, not the apps, but the modules, and being able to realize, okay, I need to get this done. And the check marks on the modules was really key to my success.
It's part of one of the classes, I think they have you pace it out, but my schedule fluctuates every week. And so it looks different every week. And so I would sit down at the beginning of the week and see, like Jen would, what's coming up, what's due. And then I'd write out like what days I'm doing which assignments, so I can span out the work. So I felt more comfortable to go through my checklist, just because I enjoy the checklist like Richard, where I really enjoy checking those boxes that I was done with the assignment, because I had to pace out my week, or there was maybe 1 or 2 weeks that I didn't, and it was just like a mess. And I hated every week that I was like, better, that you're just going to hate life if you do this. But it was much easier when I would just pace out what I'm going to do and when, because my schedule was so wonky all the time. And so that's what helped me.
But the one thing I kind of did is I just scrolled through to see what assignments I actually had to turn in, because there was a ton of reading and a ton of studying, but I wanted to know what I had to turn in. And so then I would then I can kind of work backwards, and allow for time for that. So that was my main thing. And I usually even try to do that sometimes on Saturday the week before. As soon as I turned everything else in, then that next week was unlocked, just so I kind of knew what my week coming ahead was going to be.
I was super surprised that you got all that free downloads.
Yeah.
And I was kind of scared, and maybe it does happen that it was just going to go away after Pathways, but I think it's amazing that they set you up for success and give you all those downloads.
Everything, opening up, when we opened up the first week in September, and all our programs were there, what we need to install, our Word, everything that we need to install on the computer was great, because I had none of that on my computer at the time.
I think you need to go in and play around with it when you're not trying to do schoolwork, because when you're focusing on your schoolwork, that's what you want to focus on. So I tried to take time apart from when I was actually working on assignments to go in and familiarize myself with where everything was. And I feel like it helped me so that when I went in to do my school, it was easier to find all the resources that I need and was easier to focus on what I was doing. I think the biggest thing would be to tell new students that they need to be patient. Be patient with themselves, be patient with their instructors, be patient with their gathering groups. Just have a lot of patience, because it's not all going to be as smooth as you would like it to be. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is. You need to be patient, and sometimes you might not learn things as quickly as you'd like to either. So be patient with yourselves and with the people around you.
I started Pathways with starting a stroke in September. I had a stroke 2 days before Pathways started. I stuck with it. I could have stopped this semester. I was throwing a lot of stuff at me this semester beyond belief. And what for me was just sticking with it, being open, being honest with my group, being open and honest with my professors. That way you have the support that you need to continue on, and that you know that no matter what, somebody's going to be there, somebody can cheer you on, and just to be really open about everything.
My key to success is perseverance. And I think most of the people who are doing Pathways have busy lives. They have careers, they have families, they have things going on, and they're doing things they haven't done in years. I really struggle with math, and that was killing me. Mm-hmm. But the thing I love about Pathways is it's a stepping stone. So it's getting you ready to go to school, to finish a college, any type of college that you're doing. But so I'd say persevere. It's worth the time. It's worth actually learning the material, so you're ready for your future.
To commit and be open-minded, because the thought of gathering sounded so lame when I first signed up for Pathways. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to be the worst. And it was like the best part of the whole thing. And so, but I told myself, we're going to be open-minded and we're going to commit and we're going to finish this, because unlike most of my group, I didn't go back to school for the sake of going back to school. I'm in Pathways because Heavenly Father told me to go to Pathways. So I don't know why I'm here. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't trade this year and this group for anything. And so I know I'm supposed to be here. And so my path's been a little different, but I committed. I'm like, we're going to finish this and just be open-minded. Because then in semester 2, when group projects came, I'm like, are you kidding me? This can't get any lamer. And it actually happened to be some of the best parts of the whole program for me. And so committing and open-mindedness was really what got me through this year.
When you talk about keys to success, I immediately think analytical and what did I do, scheduling time. But then there's the church side of it, the spiritual side of it, that I like Cami and the rest of us. I couldn't have picked a worse time to do this. My wife was just getting through the worst round of chemo, heading into another round of chemo when I started. But the Lord told me to go back to school. And so that's the key to my success. The Lord told me to go, and I knew that it was the right decision. And so at times I thought, man, I cannot do anymore. But I knew the Lord has a plan for me, and that was the key to my success. You receive no witness until after the trial of your faith. And so that was the key, was to finish. And if you're thinking about just school-wise and finishing, sure, planning and making sure you have time set. But I wasn't sure if I liked the line of church and school. and how we straddled that line so much at times. I really struggled with it. But at times that's the key to my success, was relying on the Lord and knowing he wanted me here and that I just needed to push through it. And so that was my keys, not only just the analytical stuff, but knowing the Lord was helping me.